It hits you sometimes, doesn't it? Just this flood of information everywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
You're looking for clarity, maybe some real guidance, and you just want someone to, well, cut through the noise. And maybe remember what you asked last time.
Yeah, that's a big one, the remembering part.
Well, that's exactly what we're tackling today. You shared some really fascinating stuff about Brainy from EON Reality, this AI mentor tech.
Right, the one with the endless memory in immersive XR. It definitely caught our eye.
It did. So for this deep dive, our mission is basically to figure out, okay, what is Brainy? How does this whole endless memory thing actually work?
And crucially, why should someone listening care? How might it actually help with learning or personal growth? We've got some info on the tech, some early data, too.
And they're talking about this big shift, aren't they? Moving from software interfaces to, what was it, relationship-centered experiences.
That's the phrase. It's a bold claim. So let's get into what makes Brainy tick. It seems like this dual avatar idea is pretty central.
Right. What does that actually mean, dual avatar?
Well, it sounds like Brainy can appear in two quite different forms. It depends on how you're interacting.
Okay.
First up, there's a hyper-realistic video avatar. So imagine having a video chat, but it's with this AI coach.
Like a Zoom call, but with AI.
Sort of, yeah. But they're aiming for extreme realism. We're talking real-time video generation responding to you, modeled emotional expressions, a consistent look and voice, and high-quality audio synthesis. The main goal seems to be making it feel like a really natural conversation, like you're talking to a person, avoiding that, slightly weird digital puppet feeling.
That uncanny valley thing, yeah, that can be off-putting.
Totally. So avoiding that is key for the video avatar. But then there's the second form.
Which is?
When you go into, say, a virtual reality or augmented reality environment, an immersive 3D space Brainy shows up as a photorealistic XR avatar.
So inside the virtual world itself.
Exactly. And here the tech focus shifts. It's about cinema quality rendering, making digital skin look real with things like subsurface scattering.
Okay, fancy rendering stuff.
Right. Physics for how hair and clothes move, really precise facial animations, realistic eye movements, the whole 9 yards. It's all about creating a believable human presence right there with you in that virtual space.
Which could be huge for immersive learning, right? Like practicing something hands-on.
Precisely. Imagine learning a complex procedure or collaborating on a design with this realistic guide right next to you.
Okay, so they're really pushing the boat out on the avatar tech.
Yeah.
But that's just one side of it. The other big piece is this endless memory.
Yes. And this, I think, is where it gets really interesting for the user experience.
How does it work? What's behind the curtain?
So they've built this architecture they call endless memory. A key part is a huge context window, 1 million tokens.
1 million tokens. That sounds like a lot. What does that mean practically?
It means Brainy can remember a very long history of your interactions. Much, much more than typical AI chatbots can hold in active memory. But it's not just raw storage. They've got a multi-layered memory system. It combines episodic memory, remembering the specifics of a chat you had last Tuesday about, say, market entry strategies.
Right, the detail.
With semantic memory. This is more about building a deeper, evolving understanding of you, your goals, your learning style, your areas of expertise, your common questions. It builds a profile.
So it gets to know you over time, not just recall facts.
Exactly. And to manage all this data efficiently, they use things like vector databases and knowledge graph.
Tech jargon alert. What do those do?
Right. Think of them as super smart ways to organize the information. The vector database helps find related memories based on meaning, not just keywords, so it can connect ideas in ways you might not expect. And the knowledge graph maps out all the concepts you've discussed and how they link together. It gives Brainy a holistic view of your journey.
Okay, that makes sense.
And crucially, they have relevance-based retrieval. It prioritizes memories that are most significant to you and relevant to the current conversation, not just the most recent things.
So it pulls up the important stuff, not just the last thing said.
Precisely. Plus, there's cross-modal context preservation. This means it remembers what you were doing, even if you switch from the video chat on your laptop to the XR avatar in VR. The learning context carries over seamlessly.
Wow. That really does sound like a dedicated mentor who remembers everything. It's not starting from scratch each time.
That's the idea, a continuous, unbroken learning relationship.
So how are they actually using this? EON Reality mentioned some specific platform updates, right?
Yes, they're integrating Brainy into redesigned versions of their tools. Take the EON Entrepreneurial Guide, for example.
Okay, for starting businesses.
Right. Normally, you might fill out lots of forms online, right? tedious stuff.
Definitely.
With Brainy's video avatar, you talk through your business idea naturally. And because it remembers everything, your past ideas, your worries, and has that emotional intelligence layer, it can offer tailored support.
So it adapts to how you're feeling about the process, too.
Seems like it. Then, if you want to, say, visualize a product concept or build a virtual prototype, you shift into XR, and the Brainy avatar is right there guiding you.
Seamless transition.
That's the goal. And they reported some early numbers on this, cutting concept development time from about 5.3 hours down to 2.1 hours.
That's a huge difference, like 60% faster.
Yeah, a significant acceleration.
What about the career side, the EON Career Compass?
Similar idea, transforming career development from, occasional check-ins or training modules into a continuous coaching relationship.
Okay.
The video avatar provides ongoing personalized advice based on your whole career history, your goals, everything it remembers. Then the XR avatar lets you practice skills immersively, like virtual sales pitches or technical troubleshooting simulations.
Makes sense. Practice makes perfect.
And again, that consistent personality and complete memory are key to building trust. They shared a case study, a global insurance company.
Yeah. What happened there?
They saw a 78% success rate for employees moving into new internal roles, training time cut by over half, and really high employee satisfaction, like 83%.
Those are strong results for workforce transformation. Is it just corporate or education, too?
Education as well. They talked about integrating Brainy into an engineering program. It acts as an AI advisor for students over their entire 4 years.
A 4-year advisor.
Wow. Yeah. Video avatar for guidance on courses, careers, research. Then XR for complex simulations, virtual labs, even virtual internships.
Giving them practical experience safely.
Exactly. And the reported outcomes were pretty impressive. Graduates earning 32% higher starting salaries on average, 87% job placement.
That's high.
And 94% student satisfaction with the guidance. It suggests a much more personalized, effective path from education to career.
These examples are compelling. Do they have broader data looking across different uses?
They do. They shared some aggregated metrics from studies comparing Brainy's avatar approach to traditional interfaces.
What do they find?
Significant improvements across the board. Task completion up 31% better efficiency, higher ROI.
Okay.
User engagement saw a huge jump, 78%. People stick with it longer.
That's massive.
Learning outcomes themselves improved by 35%. So faster skill acquisition. Career confidence up 41%.
Important for adapting in today's world.
Definitely. And learning completion rates increased by 55%. That's a big deal for training budgets, less wasted investment.
So across the board, it seems to be making a real difference. Why, though? What's the psychology behind why this avatar approach works so well?
That's a great question. They touch on a few things. Firstly, social presence. Interacting with a realistic avatar feels more like a relationship than using a tool.
Right. More human.
Yeah, which boosts engagement. Then there's emotional mirroring the avatar. Subtly reflecting or responding to your emotional state helps build rapport and trust.
Makes sense.
The continuity of having the same mentor figure across video and XR creates a coherent, reliable guide. Personalization happens through conversation, not fiddling with settings.
That's more natural.
And fundamentally, it taps into how we naturally interact and learn as humans. So there's essentially zero learning curve for the interface itself, unlike complex software.
It avoids that friction of learning the tool before you can learn the actual thing you want to learn.
Precisely. It's a very different paradigm from traditional GUIs.
They had a couple of quotes that sum this up, didn't they? From the leadership.
Yes. Mats Johansson, the president, talked about Brainy bridging the gap between planning and implementation across multiple modalities, using memory, emotion, and seamless transitions.
Okay.
And Dan Lajerskar, the chairman, emphasized the shift to a relationship-centered experience, blending human coaching strengths with AI's power.
Those quotes really capture the vision.
They do.
So if we try and wrap this up, it really feels like Brainy's aiming to be a pretty significant evolution in AI guidance. This combo of realistic avatars, video, and XR, plus that powerful, endless memory.
Yeah, it points towards a learning experience that's continuous, deeply personalized, and, well, actually engaging.
For listeners thinking about how to get up to speed on complex topics or learn new skills, this kind of persistent, knowledgeable AI guide, it could genuinely be a shortcut, couldn't it?
It absolutely could, and it leaves you with a pretty provocative thought, I think.
Go on.
Just consider, what if you had an AI mentor that remembered everything about your learning journey, understood how you felt about challenges, and could guide you through both deep conversations and hands-on virtual practice.
Mm-hmm.
How could that change how you learn new things, navigate information overload in your job, or even approach personal development? What possibilities does that unlock?
That's definitely something to mull over. It's a fascinating prospect. Now, for anyone wanting to dig deeper.
Right. EON Reality has put out more details. There's a white paper, a presentation.
Okay.
And they also have their own podcast and a spoken blog, which could be good places to look for more info on this and related tech.
Good to know. Well, this has been really insightful. Thanks for helping unpack all of that.
Absolutely. Fascinating stuff. Thanks for bringing it up.
Thanks, everyone, for taking this deep dive with us. Until next time.